Hi beautiful people, happy holidays! Welcome back to my channel. This is Andy and today I'll be restoring this dated dresser. I found it for $20 in Facebook Marketplace and it was in pretty rough condition. It looked like it was made of pine, but only the front of the drawers were made of it. Some of the pulls were missing and you will see that this was a DIY project of some sort. This will be quite a lot of work. Follow me to make it beautiful again. One of these details is missing, but first, Milo needs some cuddling and love. I'll start removing the hardware. It is fake brass and I will not be using it. I'll be getting rid of these details. I think they make the dresser look dated. The details were only glued, but it took some time to get rid of them. I will also change the bottoms of the drawers. Look at how warped these panels are. I'll make new ones. The top was full of dings and dents, so I just wanted to scuff sand it to remove some of the stains. The following day, I continued removing those details and... oops. Well, anyway, I just want to paint it dark. Dark pieces sell well in my area, and I want to make it look more appealing. As you see, this was a tedious work, but it was important because, I don't know, you have an idea in your mind and you want to see it crystallized in the end, so you have to be patient. Put on some music, your favorite channels, and work. The dresser had these drawer stoppers that didn't work and scratched the bottom panels. One had a big hole. Then it was time to clean and get rid of that awful base. I'll be making the typical DIY wife base that I always make. I'll leave a link to her video in the description below. Although I must confess something, I learned how to build that base from Kara over at Lemons to Lemonade. I'll leave a link to her channel in the description below. I wanted to reuse the wood from the base, but it was awfully bent, so I just built a brand new one. Look at all that particle board. All the body of the dresser is made of it. I glued and clamped all those bits that broke while I was getting rid of the base. Before applying epoxy putty to the drawers, I taped the old holes for the putty to stay in its place. Then I mixed some Bondo. I only mixed small amounts because here in Chile it is summer already, so everything gets dry super quickly. Don't get fooled by the snow. We celebrate Christmas with cold beverages, summer clothing, and nice weather. Notice that I'm only keeping one detail. It is the only one I liked. Then it was a lot of sanding. I scuff sanded the top now because I had a plan that you'll soon see. I scuff sanded everything and then I applied some wood filler. I had only some left and was quite dry, but it still worked. This was like playing with mud. Well, it dried in like 2 minutes, so I just sanded it smooth. The Bondo dried really fast and hard, so I sanded it immediately. My idea was to put new veneer on top. I had bought this veneer for a previous project, and it worked so fine then that I thought that it was going to be the same here. But it was a total fail. I'll teach you what not to do for you not to make the same mistake. Milo, this is not a doggy mat. I love you. This veneer is quite fragile, so I'll reinforce the borders before rolling it back. Well, if both surfaces are real wood, you just roll or brush your PVA wood glue on both surfaces and let them dry completely. I spread it with a cheap brush. Cheap, not chip. You have to apply enough glue to have a thick layer. When it dries completely, using a hot iron, you melt the glue and it bonds perfectly. This veneer looked so beautiful on the piece. I hand sanded the borders and it looked great. Everything was looking so good. I touched some spots with wood filler over here and there. I didn't film it, but the next day the veneer was floating on the top. All the glue had stuck to the veneer and not to the surface. Then I examined it better and saw that it was not real wood. I should have used contact cement. To drown my frustration, I sanded the rough wood of the drawers. Here you can see that it was some DIY project. I made everything smooth. Look at that rough wood. I'll make it smooth. Even after sanding everything, some dents appeared. I'll sand and then paint to finally see what has to be covered. I have this huge piece of hardboard in the entryway and cut it with my utility knife. As you know, I'm not afraid of using power tools inside. I want to thank my wonderful members. Thanks for being part of this channel. You don't have to be one to enjoy my content, but I'm constantly uploading pics, posts, or videos for my members. It was time to hand sand those details. I left the audio here so you can listen to Milo barking. He seldom barks. He's such a well-behaved boy. I started painting with some latex paint I had left. There you can see some of the details that needs to be filled before the second coat. If you saw that my cuts were irregular, well, you just need to sand them. Here you see me tracing a line just to make the border straight. Now I'm making the base. I used the old base as a template and added some feet. I like the versatility of hardboard, but I don't like its color, so I'll paint it white. I'll use Bear's shoelace color. You can see that this side of this drawer was broken, so I'll replace it. I measured the length and then cut the new side. The new sled was a little bit too thick, so I used my router to make it thinner, and then sanded everything flush. I also made the new groove. And as the weather was so nice, I cut the angle of the front feet. I'll assemble the base using pocket holes. You can attach the legs flush to the base, but I used a little piece of wood to make it have a little distance. Hi Milo, are you having fun? I stained the base in early American. I also stained the sides. The wood does not look nice. I'll have to figure out something. Here I bought new wood filler. I'll use it to fill in those dents. Look at those sides. This looks rough and ugly. I'll fill in all the dents at the top. I'm not going to waste more veneer, so I'll sand and paint. It's always so nice to start painting. I'm using what's left of black paint. I'll have to buy more. I'll seal the base using water-based polyurethane in satin finish. My favorite poly. The following day was the day to install the new base. Here are the bottom panels of the drawers for their second coat. This time I'll roll the paint. I'll sand the top flush. I will not make money with this dresser. I'll sell it to cover the costs and make someone happy. I'll try to make it as beautiful as possible. I went to a local hardware store and they only had this oil-based blackboard paint. I don't like using oil-based paints. Well, I bought it because I don't want to drive to those big stores. It was not as stinky as I thought, but it was runny. You can see the drips. I can only say that this paint is really easy to apply. The brush runs smoothly. The next day was so hot that I could put the wood filler and sand immediately. Well, as you can see, I always paint the back. After reassembling the drawers, I had the idea to give the sides a little gold pattern, so I started taping and getting ready to paint. I applied this satin gold acrylic paint with an artist brush. I sanded with this 600 sanding mesh to smooth everything before top coat. I had these spools and sprayed them with a little gold. Those are the golden stripes. They are different, but definitely better than the plain wood. New top coat and new brush. And this poor piece is beginning to look well. My Milo, he's always so happy, he's always giving me love. I countersank the holes for the new pulls. The last thing to do was to seal the rest of the wood with golden beeswax. This wax does not paint, it just gives a very faint golden sheen. Do you remember the data dresser? Here it is now. It is elegant but funny, and it is totally functional. Someone can use it and love it for many years. I hope you liked today's video. See you in the next one!